Hello, YouTube. Happy Sunday. Happy New Week. Just coming to you guys with a quick video. I was up super late last night and was on TikTok and remembered that it was, it's September. Of course, y'all knew that. I know that as well. But September is PCOS Awareness Month. That's what I forgot. Um, so I'm going to talk to you guys about PCOS. I struggle with PCOS. I have PCOS, and I can't tell y'all like medical stuff about it. I can only tell y'all exactly what I went through, the symptoms and everything. You have to be diagnosed by your doctor. Don't just because I'm telling you the symptoms, don't just be like, oh, I got PCOS. Like you don't know. Be diagnosed by your doctor. I can tell you what medications are good and what medications aren't the best. But like I said, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Sorry, y'all. I got something on my shirt and I don't know what it is. So PCOS is polycystic ovary syndrome. It's when you have cysts in your ovary. You have multiple cysts in your ovaries, which causes you not to have a normal cycle, which causes infertility, and it does not allow you to ovulate. Um, so that's basically what it is, what all it is, for the basics of it. I got diagnosed at 17, but um, let me see, I was diagnosed at 17. My first cycle, I was 10, and then I started having issues at the age of 12. So I probably had PCOS all that time, but I was so scared to like talk to my mom about like my cycle because as a kid, when you learn about sex and you learn about like your cycle and everything, they tell you that when you miss your period, 9 times out of 10 you're pregnant. That's just basically what they tell you. They just tell you that altogether. Oh, you're pregnant. You missed your period. You're pregnant. So I didn't want my mom to think that I was out here having sex. I wasn't out here having sex. Um, but I did tell y'all that I did get raped at the age of 12, and it kind of happened. I can't remember exactly when it started. My cycle started acting up. So when my cycle didn't come for the first time, it wasn't like I was keeping track of it. I've never been a cycle track keeper until I got married. Um, but yeah, when my cycle first didn't come, um, I thought I was pregnant. I was scared out of my mind. I was like, oh my God, I can't be. Can't be. This is before Google was like popular, so I couldn't really Google everything. But I thought I was pregnant, and I already knew I wasn't because I wasn't having sex. But I was like, Lord, what if I'm like the Virgin Mary? Because even after I got raped, I didn't have sex for like a while. So yeah, I'm like, Lord, what if I'm like the Virgin Mary? Like, why did you choose my body? Because, I mean, I'm a Christian, and that's what we learn about. We learn about Mary, Adam, Eve, like we learn about all the people in the Bible. So I'm like, Lord, I don't want to be like the Virgin Mary. Why did you choose my body? But when it's like came 3 months later, and then I was like, okay, good. And then I had really bad cramps and really bad cycles. And then as I got older, my cycles was like a hit or miss. So it just became normal. And then I'll tell my mom like, oh, I came on. Like I'll just tell my mom like, oh, I'm on. Oh, I'm on. Oh, it's really like, um, whatever. So that's basically that's basically my story. When I got diagnosed at 17, I was told that I could not have any children. And then I was told that if I do have kids, it's a higher risk of me having a multiple. Well, I'm going to tell you that my aunt has PCOS. My aunt on my dad's side, she has or had has PCOS. She has PCOS. bunch of weight before she got married and got pregnant. I think it was on her honeymoon. And yes, she got pregnant with twins. And it's only because when you lose weight and you start ovulating and your cycle starts coming normally and everything starts being normal again, and your body is like, oh, okay, it's time for me to ovulate. Oh, okay, oh yeah, it's time for me to have a period. What happens is all them eggs that you have not ovulated, they're stuck up in there. So sometimes you may drop 2 eggs, sometimes you may drop 3 eggs, sometimes you may drop 4 eggs, and it just all depends which egg is going to get fertilized. So it's not always guaranteed that you're going to have a multiple, because there's a lot of women nowadays that have PCOS and only have one baby. So it's not always guaranteed. With PCOS, they've tried to give me birth control. Um, every birth control that they given me, I was sick. Like, I told you guys I started PCOS at 17. Well, I got diagnosed at 17. They put me on birth control. I think it was Yaz or Ocella was my first one. And I remember passing out in the hallway trying to switch classes, throwing up right before I come on my cycle, having heavy cycles, um, passing blood clots. Like, oh my God, it was just a mess. Um, Having to wear 2, 3 pads at a time. Like, ugh, it's just horrible. Um, so yeah, the second set of pills kind of did the same thing, but it wasn't as bad. So then the third set of pills, because I can't remember all of the names, made me really depressed. And then I was like, I'm not about to be y'all test dummy. I just won't have a period. Like, I don't care. I just won't have a period. Like, it ain't like out here like I'm thotting and bopping. So I'm not about to. I just won't have one. So I just kind of took it from there. Like, I'm tired of being y'all test dummy. They won't give you the shot because the shot, um, it makes you gain weight. And with PCOS, it's easy for you to gain weight and so hard for you to lose weight. So hard for you to lose weight, and it's an insulin resistant, if I'm saying it correctly. It's insulin resistant. Also, I'm trying to think, um, with PCOS, I'm sorry, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, and I didn't get much sleep last night. Um, Also with PCOS, you can get like hair on your face, hair on your chin. Like, sometimes I see some females that have a lot and some females that keep it shaved. Then you grow hair on your chest because your hormones aren't equal. So yeah, you get acne. Um, you can have really heavy, hard periods, or you just won't have a period at all. Like I said, when I first started out, my cycles were extremely heavy. As I got older, extremely light. Like, I could put on a panty liner for a pad. Like, that's how light it was at one point, which was crazy. And then, depending on how I feel, like, it's going to sound crazy, and I don't mean to scare you guys when I say this, but I had went through like a really bad depression at one point, and I was so depressed, crying all the time, just crying. And my cycle lasted for 3 months. Yes, I said it, 3 months. I don't know how I lasted like that. I don't know how I walked around. I don't know anything. Like, it lasted for 3 months. Um, but yeah. So then they gave me the IUD birth control to kind of stop my cycle. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I felt like the woman with the issue of blood. Like, I kid you not. I felt like the woman with the issue of blood. I'm like, Lord, please just stop this thing. When they put the IUD in me, they say, oh, like, they didn't tell me this before they talked me into getting it. I told myself I wasn't doing any more birth control. They talked me into getting it. They put the IUD in. Talk about the worst pain ever. But that's another story for another time. But when they put the IUD in, I started back bleeding. I had stopped bleeding for like a week because I had went to Virginia, spent time with my best friend, seeing my best friend, and something about when I see her, it just calms me down and just wheels me back in. Seeing her just made me feel so good and so much better. But when they put that daggone IUD in me, I started back bleeding, and it was even heavier. I had to go and buy adult diapers, like, and wear it with pants. Like, that's how heavy it was. And I'm sorry I'm being so, like, telling you guys, but I want you guys to know, like, how PCOS is. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. The most common medications that they'll give you, they will try to give you um, birth control to kind of like regulate your cycle, or they'll give you metformin. Metformin is to help you to lose the weight. Also, it helps you to like regulate your cycle. If you take metformin, please, 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 because they tried me on metformin right after I graduated high school, and I took it one time, but I took it on an empty stomach. Don't ever do that. Eat before you take the metformin. I am still on metformin now because they recently put me back on it, like last year. Because when I was preparing for the wedding, I did tell them, hey, I'm going to be 30. Me and Andrew, we're trying to have kids. Andrew wants 4 kids. I'm good with 2. But Andrew wants 4 kids. So I'm like, I'm not trying to be 40 trying to have my last baby, or about to have my second baby, or about to have my first baby, because originally I was just going to do foster care to adopt and call it a day. But Andrew wants 4 kids. So I'm like, hey, I need something. They did put me back on birth control. I was like, okay, I'll try it. I haven't tried it since high school. So let's try it again. Let's just say my blood pressure was through the roof. Blood pressure was through the roof. My kidney functions wasn't acting correctly, and my cholesterol went up. Did not know birth control can do all of that, but yes, it did. It did that to me. I can't say it's going to do the same for you, but it did it to me. Um, so yeah, but if you do take metformin, make sure you eat. Metformin does make you lose your appetite, so you do wind up losing weight. That's why I lost like 40-ish pounds, 40, 45 pounds before I got married. So yeah, I can't take the 1,000 milligrams a day anymore because I don't eat enough to take 1,000 milligrams. So I can only take 500, because if I try to take that second pill through the day, I'm going to be somewhere throwing up. But never, never, never take. And even if you think that you ate enough, try to wait until like the end of the day to take the metformin, because if you didn't eat enough, I guarantee you're going to throw up. So that's it really. So let's talk about that infertility thing. If the doctor tells you, oh, you can't have kids with PCOS, that's a lie. You can have kids. If they tell you, oh, you need IVF, that's a lie. You just gotta change up some things, change up your eating habits, change up your lifestyle, work out and stuff like that, and make sure that your cycle is like regular. Get your cycle regulated. That's a lie. Don't let them tell you this stuff, because you're a woman. We are made, like, when we're born with our eggs. And one of them days them eggs is going to drop. Like, I'll never forget, I had to get a transvaginal ultrasound, and the lady was like, wow, you got a lot of eggs. And I'm like, oh, that's because I don't ovulate. I never knew what ovulation pains felt like until May of this year. So I ovulate now because my cycle is regular now, because of the metformin. I took myself off the birth control because, like I said, it was running up my blood pressure. I was on it for like a year, or almost a year. It was running up my blood pressure, my cholesterol, and it was like, I just found out about the kidney function thing. I'm like, what the heck? Like, kidney function? you know, I don't play about the kidneys or my blood pressure, for real, like, ain't nobody, But once I stopped them daggone pills, everything went back to normal. So, um, yeah, don't let them tell you, oh, you gotta pay for IVF if you want to get pregnant with PCOS. IVF is like, depending on how much your insurance paid for it, my insurance is gonna pay some, and then I was gonna be left with like $20,000, and I have Blue Cross Blue Shield. I'm not doing that. Like, and then gotta pay for like bringing my baby, buying my baby Pampers and stuff like that. I'm not doing that. So we will get pregnant when we get pregnant. When God say, okay, it's time. So yes, that is it. That is all. That is all I have for you guys. In November, I will be more prepared for epilepsy awareness because I got so much to tell you guys. And until next time, for my next video, I hope you guys have a great Sunday, a great week. I'm not ready for work tomorrow, but I hope you guys are. I hope you guys have a great week. And until next time, bye.